up, gigglers?
Gary, fix the Wi-Fi.
Manifest that shit.
We can't be managed. I mean, the day just got away from me.
Hello, my giggly piggly wigglies. I think I said that last week.
Confused. Piggly Wiggly was really good and very cute.
Is that a name of a grocery store in the South, Piggly Wiggly?
If it's not, it sure sounds like something down there. I actually got so offended the other day.
Why?
Because Craig went to get like a sub. Well, first of all, I think I like sent him a picture of like this sub place in New York City where I was like, how good does that look? Don't you just want to like stuff your face into it?
That's how you sex now?
Yeah. He was going to get a sub and then he said Jersey Mike's, which like I'm not a hater on Jersey Mike's. It's just like that's not a real sub.
Yeah.
You know, like I crave Subway, but that's not like a real sub. Like I'm talking a real sub.
Yeah, it's like being like, I'm getting a bagel from Starbucks.
Exactly.
That's not a real bagel, but like I'll eat it.
Exactly.
I like it.
And he was like, this is a real sub. Like, I don't know what you mean between the difference of like, and I just got the ick, honestly. I was like, you know what? If you don't know the difference between Jersey Mike provolone and someone's grandfather who doesn't speak English slicing that, like, I can't help you. There's nothing else I can do.
Don't tell Kim. She'll get so mad.
How was your weekend?
I just came from Staten Island, which it was, I fought for my life over there. Do you know there's traffic on Staten Island? I didn't even know there were enough people. It was like going to Europe.
I think it's wild that more Staten Island reality shows haven't really made it. Because I feel like it is a different part of the world that no one really knows about unless you live there.
Yeah.
Like the vibe of Staten Island. Like I feel like it's very neighborhood.
I feel like there definitely should be a Real Housewives of Staten Island.
I mean, there was Mob Wives, which was amazing. That was the best show on television.
Was that on Staten Island?
Yeah, Staten Island.
What's her name? Not Dina. When Dina would just threaten to beat the shit out of everyone.
First of all, her name was Drita. And she's never once apologized for smacking a bitch in the face. And she was my favorite character. She wasn't even Italian. This bitch was Albanian. She was like, I'm crazier. Her husband was in jail.
They say that Albanians are basically Italians because it's touching Italy, but they're better at war. Because like Italians were like, you can have it. Here's some pasta. Like we've been, like Sicilians have been taken over by like every single person that's walked through Sicily. Like literally all they have to have is a knife and they're like, cut the mozzarella, come through.
They literally probably got confused. But okay, could you imagine me and you standing like in our backyard and like a war's about to break out? We're just be like, we don't really care that much. So I guess like take it. I don't know.
That's literally Italians. They're like, I'm taking a nap. I ate too much pasta. Take over my house.
Like so much admin to get into a war with you. So,
dude, war is so much admin. Are you kidding me? Like, I can't even get all my friends to go to brunch at the same time to get them to fight a war. Are you kidding me?
Okay, you know that shit is bad when you start seeing things on TMZ. Like, did you see the Chinese like balloon thing? I literally was like, look, I know that I am not the smartest adult out here. I'm not even close to it. But I know that something is wrong. Shouldn't be on TMZ.
Also, when they said balloon, why did I envision just like a happy birthday balloon that like got lost?
Me too. I was like, wait, how the fuck did a latex balloon?
Like some kid lost his balloon and now it's like just in the sky and they're like, what is it?
Just expecting to see like some small little boy like sad
because he lost his balloon all the way from a strong wind from China. And yeah, I actually did not listen to any of the news on this, but I overheard that China was like, it is us, but we're not spying. Which literally is like your dude when he's like, I didn't cheat on you, my dick slipped in her vagina.
I didn't call you a bitch. I said you were acting like one.
Yeah,
that's my favorite. That's my fucking favorite.
Oh my god. Or
look at us just discussing politics.
This is a political podcast.
Fully a political podcast.
I do have to say, I've never gotten more messages after an episode because we were talking about SSRI pills. We're now like SSRI influencers.
Oh yeah. No, we really are. We speak for the mental health community,
and obviously consult your doctor because we if anything, we're giving you bad advice.
If anything, we
of what we
have no
say.
idea.
But for anyone who's not on SSRIs, go off. Like, do not feel left out. It was crazy to see the amount of girls who are just casually like,
Yeah.
hey, I've taken this, I've switched to this. The amount of messages of the gigglers that are on Prozac or Wellbutrin or Lexapro that reached out to me and told them their experience. What I learned, a lot of people have different experiences. I did also learn too, I'm actually not going to go on Zoloft. I'm going on Prozac. So I messed up.
Oh my gosh.
I lied to the community.
Wow.
So I need to apologize to the academy. So I'm going on, they all fucking sound the same.
Yeah, they do.
They all sound like electronic cars. I'm going on Prozac.
I'd love to know whose job it is to name. How did they get the name?
I feel like the same person who names nail polishes.
I literally said that today. I said that today on an Amazon Live. I was like, look, if all else fails, my first stop to getting like a job, a 9-to-5 job, would be the person that names lipsticks and nail polishes. I could sit there all day and come up with the kookiest names.
Yeah, all these pills sound like startup tech companies.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly. Or like a video game consoles. Yeah.
yes. My psychiatrist was like, okay, so I'm putting you on fluoxetine. I'm like, I thought you were putting me on Prozac. And she's like, that is Prozac. And I'm like, this is a lot of admin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they changed the names.
Not very smart.
Yeah. From that episode, I learned that a lot of gigglers have fake boobs. And I love that for our
my
community.
God. Wait, tell me the feedback on your announcement that you might get a boob job if in a year you still want it.
It was split 50-50. Some girls were like, get it. I loved it. I was so nervous, but I'm so much more confident, like changed my life. And then other girls were like, I hated it. Don't get it. Like, I'm getting mine taken out. I was really sick, like whatever. And my mom called me and said the craziest thing. She was like, it's so funny because before I listened to your podcast the night before, I was like, Paige hasn't brought up getting her boobs done in a really long time. She must have grown up and gotten over it.
Nope, she was just finding the balls to announce it on her worldwide podcast.
I was like, is this your nice way of telling me to grow up and get over it? She goes, I mean, do what you want, but I know that means like don't ever do what you want.
That means she's just like my mom told me at a young age, because my brother wanted he was into jujitsu and he wanted like some jujitsu thing on the back of his neck, and my mom was like, if I tell him no, he's gonna get it, so I'm just telling him to like just wait and see if you still want it. And that I don't care. That means they really fucking don't want you to get it.
They've had to come with some manipulation.
This is the problem with boob jobs. This is the problem with going on SSRIs. This is the problem with like IUDs. People are either like, it was the greatest thing I ever did, or they're like, it was a paperclip that they shoved up and stabbed me in the ovary with, and then I still got pregnant and I thought I was gonna die. And you're like, okay.
It's definitely gonna be a personal decision, and that's why I gave myself like a year. Like, if I find myself thinking about it more, then I'm gonna get it. If I don't find myself thinking about it, like when I get dressed, when when I'm naked. I don't know why I just got so weird saying that. Then I'll get it. But if I don't, so far since that episode, I've only thought about it when I see DMs about it.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Oh my God. There's literally no better place than right here, right now.
How often do you look at yourself naked in the mirror?
Every time before I shower. So that would be once every... every time before I shower. So like once a day or once every 2 days. Okay, wow. This is so interesting.
Right?
Yeah, okay. I look in the mirror in the front. First of all, wait a second. I look in the mirror in my bedroom, which is a full length. Look at it, do like a full 160, and then I go in the bathroom.
To make sure you're not like growing a tail?
No, I just like to see my butt. Like, I like to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Why? How often do you look at it?
Well, think about it. I don't have like a full-length mirror that's as accessible. I realize like I feel like the more you look at yourself naked,
yeah,
the more things that you can like worry about.
1,000%.
And I joke that I have reverse body dysmorphia, but like I'm a literal delusional crazy person. I joked about it. Like I will never admit like you've been eating bad and like you need to take care of yourself. I'll be like, you're bloated from the plane. Like it's the Mercury's in retrograde. Like it's never my fault. I mean, it's also like we never look at our vaginas. Or do you look
I look at my vagina.
But we're both bad. I don't think you should look too much or too little. Like you shouldn't also avoid it. You shouldn't like avoid a mirror. But I've never been one to look at myself too often, and I really think it helps my self-confidence, which sounds fucked up. But it's like I literally just think I'm always like so hot.
No, I think that's so true.
I don't want to know the truth. Cuz the truth is beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I can't even control the truth.
This is taking an interesting turn that I didn't think we were going to get. Did you see that TikTok I sent you the other day of like the little girl doing the get ready with me?
Yes.
It made me so uncomfortable. That's why like when randomly on my For You page, like I'll get like a literal 10-year-old girl doing a makeup tutorial and it will make me feel so uncomfortable. And I think like, wow, how are people raising daughters that age right now to not... Because even though I was a child model, which doesn't sound great, I had no idea like what I looked like or what was like pretty, what wasn't pretty. Like it just wasn't like a thing talked about in my house. Like it was just whatever. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't experience it until I was in high school and I had a girlfriend who was like obsessed with how much she weighed, like looking at herself in the mirror. And it wasn't until I was like a junior in high school that I even knew what cellulite was, because she would constantly be checking her cellulite. And then I was like, wait, do I have cellulite? Like I've literally never looked. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thanks to that girl, I do look at it all the time. But like, so I don't understand like the brain development that younger girls will have because of social media that we didn't even have to experience, and we're still fucked up from it.
We didn't grow up with like at 18 years old no one was getting Botox, no one was getting lip filler. 18-year-olds now are doing it.
Right, like in college no one was like leaving campus and going to get Botox. Like that just...
No. In college, I was getting my hair bleached $25 at the Vita student salon, and I was pale as shit, and my eyebrows were still dark, and I was still bloated back then because I was eating too many cheese curds in Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
They tell us what to be insecure about to like make us buy shit. What do you think about the whole de-influencing trend on TikTok where like every girl is now being like, actually, I hate the Kosas concealer and I hate this Charlotte Tilbury thing. Are you getting any of that?
No. What is your algorithm?
Because you buy everything.
I buy everything.
You're not the right person. Girls are now de-influencing.
I have felt attacked.
Everyone's like, we've been telling everyone what to buy, but like obviously not everything's great. So let's say what's really actually good.
I actually do really love my Kosas concealer though.
Yeah, some people do. Some people, there was like a rumor that if it's old, it could grow mold and like give you acne. But like that could be L'Oreal starting conspiracy.
Yeah,
theories
that seems very L'Oreal focused. Wow, that's interesting.
They're basically saying like, don't believe everything influencers say. Obviously,
well, obviously.
Like that's why it's called an ad.
That's why we made a podcast.
True. Because real recognize fucking real.
Yeah, real recognize real. And like, obviously, you think every commercial is real. Wow, what a good little like mental health moment we just had. So what's the deal? Don't look in the mirror? Or do look in the mirror and just be like, you're great.
I think that like looking in the mirror too much is actually unhealthy, and you don't have to like have control over what you see all the time, and to just like go with your energy. Oh my God, spends 1 week in LA.
When you look in the mirror, because look, everyone has done this. When you look in the mirror and you pick something out that you either dislike or would change slightly or drastically, do you think in your head, oh, like what does, in your case, it would be Des, or what does your significant other think of this? Or what do like my friends think of it? Because I will say I have to go to a wedding this weekend, and it's in like it's like the weather will be warm, so I know that I will be in my bathing suit for some of it. Never do I think like, oh my God, I can't put on a bathing suit in front of my boyfriend. I think about the other girls. And I think it changed as I got older. Like if you asked me this question early 20s, I'd be like, do you guys think I'm hot? Now it's more toward women.
Well, it's also like when you put an outfit together, you don't give a fuck what Craig thinks, but
Not
you
at
care
all.
what all the girls think.
Yes. So we do it to ourselves. Like we judge each other too
the
hard.
call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. Like, did we just literally crack the code on like world peace?
Girls, let's just all let ourselves
Stop
do
looking
whatever
in
the
the
fuck
mirror.
we want.
Yeah.
I did have like a full spiral the other night
About?
because someone called me healthy.
No, I can't. Somebody commented on mine and it said, "Is Paige pregnant?"
That's worse.
And I was like,
But I do think it's worse than pregnant.
what?
Someone saying you're body positive.
No. And somebody, dude, it literally did get worse because somebody commented and was like, oh my God, why would you ask that? And then somebody else said, she gained weight and she needed to. And so that was like a double dagger. I was like, what? So they've noticed I've gained weight. And so I looked bad before too. Like, no, it wasn't a great night.
And I know that talking about weight can be like so fucking triggering.
Yeah.
And we apologize for that. But I do think hopefully hearing us open up about our insecurities can make people feel a little less alone and a little more like we are existing in these bodies. I just think my looks and my body are the least interesting thing about me.
I will also say this. I have been home for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I've been home for 4 days. Well, I went out today, so really 3 days. Where I'm not kidding, I saw in the flesh like 3 people like that I spoke to. And other than that, I talked to like my family and my friends on the phone. It was such a good reset of like like nothing brought me more joy than to like rotate my rug in my living room and be by myself for 3 full days. I literally feel recharged because you want to know what I did? Whatever the fuck I wanted. Like I would be in the middle of the show, I would pause it and be like, and now I'm gonna take a bath, and I would go take a bath, and like I just did so many things like for myself, and I ended up getting more things on my like long to-do list done than I ever thought. Like rotating my rug, who's finding the time to do it? I did it on Friday afternoon, and I fucking loved every second of it.
And your whole world is different now that your rug is shifted.
No, it literally is the feng shui.
You're like, wait a second. That was the problem.
It just like, I feel like sometimes like you're going. You're looking in the mirror. And like you just need like sometimes like a couple days. I had my own wellness retreat over here.
No, that's amazing. What I realized, I was like doing a podcast. I did like an intense 1.5-hour podcast. And then I didn't have a time to like, whether it's me walking home or like me sitting on the couch. I immediately went from that to like a car full of people.
You didn't have time to decompress.
That I go 150. Like if I'm out in these streets, your girl's serving.
Yes.
Your girl is going off.
Once the Energizer bunny has turned off, we're not home.
It's like Paige and I, like when we're backstage, we're doing our giggly moments, but we're like talking like you talk to your sister. Like there's no effort. There's no trying.
That's why like when people are in the green room, like if anyone ever comes in the green room, we get so anxious because we feel like we have to obviously talk to people because they're humans and they know us and we're standing in a green room with them. But in our minds, we feel unprepared for the show because we haven't taken like 4 seconds to like breathe and focus and know that we're about to go on stage.
No
and we just fucking crush
one
it.
allowed in the green room before the show. I said it.
Yeah, that's our new
putting
rule,
my foot down.
which honestly sounds so diva of us, but I like it. I enjoy it. And I feel like setting a boundary and not being such a people pleaser is something that you and I have over the past year really like accomplished.
So that's literally what I'm talking to my therapist about right now. I'm such a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Where like for whatever reason, if people want you for things, because they just want to use you a lot of the time, And in your head, you're like, oh, well, I want to make that person happy. I could sacrifice my whole afternoon even though I'm exhausted. And then you add a couple of those up and then like you're burnt out to a crisp. You know deep down what your energy tank is. And like, yeah, I need it. You're better at saying no than I am. Like you're really good at saying no. And no, but it's not that you're good at saying no. You say no. And I almost feel like you like got something from it. Like I'll say no and I'll be like, okay, I missed out an opportunity, but I just can't do it. Where you'll say no and I'll be like, oh, she's class.
Oh my God,
She said no, period.
Do you want to know the best quote I've ever heard in my entire life? No is a sentence. No is a sentence. You don't have to say no, but no, because you can say no to literally anything. Anything in the world, you can just say no. You don't owe anyone more thoughts. That resonated with me as a Scorpio cat witch because I say no all the fucking time.
But are you not afraid that you're going to be short and they're going to be like, wow, Paige is a bitch?
Let them go home and spiral. Because I'm
It's not your problem.
Because I won't. Because I'll already be home because I said no.
Paige and I were just talking about how like you asking your friend to do something
Is so mean.
expecting them to be free is toxic.
It's so
Like,
toxic.
If you ask your friend to do something and they say no and you make them feel bad for it when they didn't even ask you to ask them, that's some pyramid scheme shit.
Sierra texted me on Friday night and said, do you want to go see Avatar? And it was like 10 p.m. And I was like, Sierra, this is honestly the meanest thing you've ever texted me saying. First of all, it's 4 degrees outside in New York City. Second of all, I'm not
It
sitting
was a
through
polar vortex.
3-hour movie about a movie like I don't care about. I was like, absolutely not. She was like, okay. I did feel bad, but I was like, no. I'm not. I just rotated my rug. I'm exhausted.
I just rotated my rug. My whole life has changed and I'm trying to comprehend it. I will like be in comfort at my home watching tennis, Butter's purring on me, and someone out of nowhere will have the audacity to ask me to do something. So not only am I not comfortable anymore and I have to respond, but I also have to now disappoint someone.
Right.
Ugh, I'm really bad at all that shit.
You can just say no thank you. Not for me. No thank you.
Speaking of TikTok, as we always do, a girl gave incredible dating advice. So her name is Naomi Rossman.
Okay.
And she basically was like, I'm not going to lie, like I'm really good at dating and I want to tell you guys my facts. And I was like, I want to hear it, even though I'm a fully married woman who is living vicariously through TikTok. If you want to date someone, the woman was like, you're not going to meet these guys out at clubs at midnight. What kind of guys are you meeting out at clubs on midnight? The guys who love partying. They probably don't have a great job. Or if they do, there's some trust fund kid with fucking, needs to go deal with his daddy issues.
Yep.
She goes,
Yep.
This is where you go to meet men. Hotel bars and restaurant bars during happy hour. Think of how these guys think. After work, they're going to restaurant bars or hotel bars with their coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
You and your friend just sit at the fucking bar at 6 p.m. on a Thursday and look at all the conversations you're going to have with like quality guys.
Wow.
Isn't that insightful?
It is insightful because being in your like early 30s and in your late 20s is a very different feeling. And so it's I'm sure it is a very different single experience.
Yeah, like when you're 24 in the city, everyone's partying. And you're just like, ugh. But like you have to be a little strategic. If you're going to leave the house, bitch, like let's be smart about it.
Work harder, not smarter. Work smarter. If I was single right now compared to 2 years ago, like 2 years ago when I was got single, you could not tell me to stay in a night. Like I went to every single I was always out. If I got single right now, like I'd be like, wait, so I'm never finding anyone because I don't want to leave the house. But I would go sit at a hotel bar.
Oh yeah, get a nice espresso martini.
But like I'm not going to a club.
Yeah, and I know that like the world's always like, oh, your person will find you and like just do you, and that's true. But do you at a hotel bar?
Yeah, do you a little bit more, a little bit smarter, you know?
Do you outside of your own apartment?
Be you, but better.
Be you, but nothing like you. Because I'll be honest, why the fuck would you be at a hotel bar when you live in the city? But I like a little strategy. We're all playing a little game. I like a little strategy, and it's you get lucky from working smart, not hard. What are we?
Okay.
What are these made up quotes we're saying?
Okay, you know how there's like always sexual tension in the airport, and like a guy can be like a real life 6,
A literal troll.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you make him an airport 10. You're just like picturing your life together.
Airport 10 is the new name for trolls.
Airport 10.
Oh my god, you love airport 10s. That's like literally your type.
Okay. Because one time I was sitting, okay, this is such a great fucking story. One time I am on the airplane. Now on this flight, I happened to be sitting in the very first seat of the plane. I remember I got a Delta Comfort seat and I got upgraded. And I'm sitting in the very first seat, the window seat. This tall, good-looking guy is walking on the plane. I go, oh my God, I wonder if he's sitting next to me. Plops right down next to me. Inherently not my type. He was very like Harvard, New England looking, but like, you know, we'll see. I put my headphones in because like I'm not interested. I don't want
She's
you to
playing
even
hard to get.
Yeah, like I don't even know that you came and sat down. Like I'm not going to talk to you. This is so long ago that I forget what he said for me to like get my headphones out to like say something to me. I forget what the first thing was. I think he asked me if he wanted me to put my bag up like in the overhead luggage. Like if I wanted him to do it
He's
for me.
obsessed with you.
You know, I was
Literally
like,
obsessed with
okay,
you.
tell your grandma about
Where's the
me.
ring?
Like, I look great in fall colors. No, so like we start talking and in my head had romanticized like how sick this was gonna be. Like this is gonna be my husband. This guy's gonna be so fucking rich, so dope. Because he was wearing not a suit, but like an off-duty suit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he looked professional, but he wasn't in like a full suit. Mm-hmm. He didn't have social media, so he was a fucking weirdo. He really only read books, and I was like, what? Get out of my face. Then he was like, well, what do you do? And like, what do you say that we do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't have the time to explain to you what I do. So I like kind of told him about Giggly Squad. And then he gave me his card, like, as we were getting off the plane. And as
are we in the 1960s?
But he must have been so nervous because as we're getting off the plane, he's walking in front of me. We're walking down the hallway to go into the airport. He stops and he turns around and he goes, I forgot all my stuff, like, on the plane. To run back, and I was just like, oh my God, you're never. And I threw the card away. Like I was like, you're a weirdo. He was also like way younger than me, so
Wait, he was so mesmerized by you. I mean, that's what I do when I'm like in conversation. I'll forget my child. Like I'll be like, wait, something's missing. Yeah, if a man can't deal with that little admin, you can't deal with my life.
no.
Emily Donato, the famous Maybelline model, did meet her husband on an airplane.
That's what I was thinking.
Like,
I was like, oh my God, it does happen.
but that's literally the exception to the rule. Most guys who talk to you on airplanes, oh my God, I'd rather die. I'm super traumatized by that story though, because when I was younger, when I first went to college, I bought all this Wisconsin gear, Go Badgers, for my entire family.
Yeah.
Like literally like extended family, like mugs, like I went into the store, got everything. I left all of it on the plane.
What were you coming home for, like Christmas vacation or something? Like, and
yeah, and it was
everything
in all these like white bags, but also like this was too much admin for me to remember the gifts and my suitcase. So I walked around on Christmas crying, going, I got you a sweater. I got you a keychain. Like they still bring it up to this day. They're like, you forget everything on the plane, Hannah? Like my family.
You ruined Christmas.
Yeah. So that was
I vaguely remember this story. I feel like I've heard this story.
yeah, I bring it up pretty often. I haven't really worked through it yet.
What's the last thing? What is the most recent thing you've forgotten on a plane? Last time I was with you, you forgot your computer in the you forgot it in the TSA check line.
Yes. But then I also did forget my podcast equipment in your room that same trip.
They mailed it back to you though, right?
That was important. The laptop they did, but the podcast stuff, I think I just bought new stuff. I don't know. I block it out. Like, I'm already on to the next thing. I don't
you're
have time
on
to
to
get
the
upset
next.
about it.
If you love something, let it go, you know? And if it loves you back, it'll come back.
No, but this is so dark. The way I move on from trauma is being like, let's get some more drama.
Something more traumatic.
Like, I'm not upset about what happened in LA. I'm upset about what happened last weekend.
Literally, everyone was like, how did you get over Perry so quick? I literally started sleeping with a narcissist and I loved every second of it. Like, are you kidding?
I hate to say it. It's so easy to get over men. It's so, like, literally just find another toxic man.
The only way to get over a relationship is to literally become obsessed with someone else. I was like, I literally was out there that weekend, like, figuring out my next move. Who am I gonna let ruin my life for the next couple months?
Some girl on TikTok also did the pettiest thing ever, and I have to tell you.
Okay.
She did not, like, burn his house down or, like, any of that. She did something way worse.
She did something smarter.
She knows his HelloFresh password, so she went in and she changed all the meals he chose to things he doesn't like.
Wow. That is
Ruin his
petty.
fucking week.
Oh, I love shit like that. I want to do that now, like, even, like, to my real boyfriend. Like, just so they can annoy him.
I'd be like, who would do that? Shrimp? They know you're allergic.
I'm like, that's crazy. Like, little things are just, like, not working out in his favor, but it's really just me.
Make him feel like he's haunted by a weird HelloFresh ghost. Did I tell you I got yelled at the post office?
For trying to do admin?
Yeah.
They were like, ma'am, you don't belong here. What were you trying to do? What were you trying to mail?
I was returning something, which most of the time I just give it, if I don't like it, I give it to my cousin. But I was like, no, you have to return this. I was avoiding it for so long because I'm like, I'm going to do it wrong. I get in there. This is USPS. This is like government postal service.
Right.
She was already not in a good mood.
And
I was
are
like,
they ever?
You know when you know they're going to hate you? Like, I'm like, I know she's going to hate me.
Yes.
And it's a long line, so I can't see any of, like, the instructions. But I'm like, I have a box.
Yep. You're ready
And
to go.
I have a box, and I'm praying.
Yeah.
So I get to the front. Not only does she not yell at me, she looks at the whole group. And I got the whole group in trouble. And she goes, I told you, if you get to the front, it has to have tape. I literally just started going, I'm sorry. And I ran out, and I actually cried.
Hannah, you did.
I cried. I called my mom and I
Hannah,
cried.
you did not cry.
I just embarrassed myself with the post office. Everyone in the line was mad at me. I'll never go again. I'll never mail something again. This is why millennials don't mail things. I will take it myself. I will jog to wherever I need to go with a box.
I don't subscribe to that. Like, I don't subscribe to being inside of a store and, like, the manager or whoever is screaming at you for some ridiculous like, I just don't. No, that is, like, against my code.
I think she must have announced, like, if you get to the front, it has to be pre-taped. I want to do my best, but I need someone to hold my hand. I got to the front. I got the whole group in trouble.
Did you ever end up returning it?
I ended up going to, like, a different place. I think I did, like, FedEx. I did the one that, like, it's more expensive. Oh, yeah, but then I went in, and the guy had, like, an accent, and he was like, shit. And I was like, what? And he was like, shit. And I was like, huh? And then the guy next to him was like, he's asking if you want to ship. And I was like, what? So literally, this is why I don't do admin.
I got into a fight with a guy at Zara the other day. I waited in this, like, insane long line. There was nobody, like, working on the floor. I waited in this insane long line, like, to get up to pay. I get up to pay and I'm like, hey, I have these pair of pants, but I was wondering if you can check and see if there's a size, like, smaller in the store. Like, I really liked these. And he looked at me. First of all, he looked at me and he went, ugh. And I, like, looked back like, oh, like, okay, sorry. So he's checking everything else out. Then he tries to go, nobody ever has the fucking iPhone where you look up the clothes. He was, like, asking everyone behind the register, like, who has an iPhone to look this up, whatever. He gets an iPhone, he looks it up, and he goes, oh, yeah, we do actually have it in a smaller size. And I was like, oh, my God, great. Like, I'll take it. And he started laughing, and he goes, I mean, I said we have one in the smaller size. I have no idea where it would be, but I guess you could ask someone over there. It was like they were about to close. not about to close, maybe like 45 minutes. So people were cleaning up like other areas. He was like, I guess you could ask one of them if they could help you look. And I was like, wait.
It's literally giving.
He was gaslighting me.
It's giving Legally Blonde. You could try Sears.
Yeah,
You could try Sears.
That was Mean Girls, but that was a really good try. I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, what? And he was like, yeah, you can ask like someone else. And I was like, well, no, then I just don't want the pants. Like, I just waited in this line for literally 20 minutes to pay. I'm not going to now search the entire store. Like, it was just so crazy. And he was so mean to me. I was like, if I wasn't tired, I would yell back at you.
Yeah, USPS and Zara give very similar energy because they know that we need them more than they need us.
Yeah, what was I going to be like?
There don't want to be
you
there.
Lost a customer? You absolutely did not, sir. Okay, I will probably be back here to look for those
you
pants
think that USPS
tomorrow.
lady was mad that she lost my business?
I will order those pants online.
You are the head marketing officer of Zara. I was the head marketing officer of Zara Makeup, which has since been discontinued.
You literally mentioned it one time. Next day, they were like, "We need to remove it from the shelves." Hannah Berner spoke
about
it.
It was like a torture chamber. I was like, "What is behind that door?" It was so weird. But also, would you argue the Zara website, even though it's so chaotic and insane, is better than the clothes that are in the store?
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes you go in the store and like nothing's that good.
I feel like that happens to me all the time.
Because everything sells out in the website like immediately, right?
Yeah.
When
yes.
it's good. Oh my God, speaking of fashion, can we discuss Grammy outfits?
I didn't really see that many, but let me tell you who like I did see and I didn't like. Beyonce's I didn't
She looked uncomfortable.
She looked very uncomfortable. Jennifer Lopez I did not like.
Do you think J-Lo and Ben hate each other or what's going on?
Wait, okay. So I came across this TikTok where like the woman was like lip reading and she says that Jen says to Ben, "Don't drink, you promised me." And he said, "Just one drink."
Oh my God.
And then the camera, and then she's right there. Which we know she doesn't.
And we could be reaching, like maybe that's just his resting face and he was like fucking around with her. But like, I don't mean to act like a nerd, but I watched the full Grammys. I watched all of it. Lizzo's the greatest.
Oh, I liked
Like,
I
she's
think
just the
Lizzo
best.
looked great. And
Cardi B was really good. You know who I like? Doja Cat.
yeah, I love
She had that like
Doja Cat.
silver thing. That was cool.
I think people were mad that Harry Styles won, but I feel like that was like expected. He had like an insane massive tour.
No, there were just some Beyonce fans that were booing him. For the like one of the biggest awards, some woman won who like I'd never heard of, and she beat out like everyone, and she was on stage being like, "I'm so confused."
Oh, for Song of the Year, right?
She was like a 70-year-old woman who beat out all of them. She was honestly like, "This is weird. I'll take this award though. Thank you." And everyone
Someone's getting fired for not appropriately doing the admin for the Grammys.
was like, someone did not do the right admin. Also, like, who is the Academy? I don't know.
Who is
Anyway.
the Academy?
So there was a weird moment where MGK, it said MGK and Megan Fox are going to be interviewed next. And then just MGK is standing there and Megan's just watching him. And he's like, she's there for support. And that's weird because they always do it together.
I love award shows. I would say the Grammys probably at the bottom of like my favorite award shows. Because I feel like they have so many musical performances, so they don't have time for like to be funny. Like they don't have time for like bits because so many people have to perform. So it's like a continuous concert.
They are like they're more artsy. Like sometimes actors are annoying. They like take their shit so seriously. They're like, I've been pretending to be a different person my whole life on the stage. And you're like, okay, calm down, you fucking billionaire. Also, the whole concept of winning awards is so weird to me.
I like the like excitement of an award show. Like I love the red carpet of an award show. But I just feel like now that we have like TikTok and social media is so like, I argue to say real, but like there are TikTok videos that are so like real and raw and funny and like people are being like their normal selves and like have pimple cream on. I just feel like the award show questioning hasn't sped up. Like, I don't care like how you
so
feel
right.
tonight. Like, we all know you're fucking nervous, but like
Yeah.
say like I want to know like other things, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's like super formal and you're not even getting the tea sometimes.
it's super formal.
I do think that Giggly Squad should host.
Dude, could you imagine being like, what do you have in your bag? Like, open your bag right now and what is in it? And like, do you actually hate this dress? Is it itching? How many band-aids do you have on for these shoes? Like, the questions would just be like, do you have to pee? When's the last time you pooped?
It would be so funny. It would be so fucking funny. The funny part about watching the whole thing though to me is like seeing someone like The Rock and just like watching him have to sit at an award show.
Dude, I told
Like
you
someone-
when I went to the MTV Awards, that shit is not what it looks like on TV. Like, at all.
It's boring.
I was just like taken aback.
I mean, all the commercial breaks and then like, I don't know, seeing these like superstars have to sit like everyone else and listen to people give speeches that they don't care about.
Yeah.
I do like seeing people being fake happy. I think that's funny for me.
That
Like,
is
when
fun.
someone loses, like seeing their heart drop, but they have to put on a smile. Oh my god.
I love at the Grammys when like the non-musical people are there, but they have to like dance with the musical people and like they have no rhythm because they're not musical.
Also, Taylor Swift is a great like audience member. She stands up and dances for everyone. Like she's so supportive. You know what? I think I've recently decided like I fuck with her. And I think it's not because she's like super cool or like a genius. I think she's actually just like kind of nerdy.
Yeah. She is like a horse girl that got really famous.
I think her and Lizzo are nerdy weird girls and I fuck with them.
Yeah.
You're like, I mean, I would never talk to them in high school, but you're like, I mean, I would shove her into a locker, but like, I like her music. Oh God.
I've always wanted to shove someone into a locker. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my God, imagine if whenever we saw each other, our thing was to shove each other in lockers. Becca and I used to have fake fights all the time. Did I tell you that?
No, I love that though. In college though?
We'd be like on the bus going to tennis practice and she'd be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, your foot's on my foot." And she'd look at me and then we'd like act it out and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know that."
Did people think you were serious?
Yeah. She'd do it all the time at bars.
Wait, there's a few things I want to talk about because this podcast like really got away from us. But there's a few things I want to talk about in terms of like front page news stuff.
Yes.
So let's like rapid fire because then I feel like we have a lot to talk about in terms of Pamela Anderson. Okay, first, Tommy Fury and Molly May's baby, Bambi. Yes or no on the name?
It just reminds me of Lala calling Raquel a doe-eyed little deer. What'd she call her? Doe-eyed
Bambi-eyed bitch. A Bambi-eyed bitch.
It reminds me of...
If I'm Raquel, I'm immediately going, oh my God, thank you. I've literally have the biggest, most gorgeous, stunning eyes. Like, I think that is a compliment.
Once we were at dinner, I looked at you and I was like, "You look like a Bambi-eyed little bitch." And you were like, "Can you take a photo?" And you were holding the martini. It's like one of my favorite photos of you. And you were Bambi-eyed bitchin'.
We were literally at a business meeting and you're like, take my picture.
This is the problem with baby names, though. Like, you project your own shit of your past life onto it.
That
so
is a stripper's name. I think that I don't like it. No.
What if Bambi's like a CEO at 38? Like, you're gonna call her Bambi?
Exactly. I feel like also she's setting her up to like she can only have fake boobs and blonde hair.
Yes.
She has to.
Also, I mean this in the nicest way possible, but did you take an Adderall? Because why did you reorganize our note stock so beautifully?
I went through
Are you okay?
I had a fucking wellness retreat over here at my apartment. I went through not just the Giggly Squad note. I went through all of my notes and organized them and deleted ones I didn't need anymore. I literally felt like that TikTok, like, you know, when you come across a note and it's like a long-winded text. I was like, whoo, yeah, delete that one. That was, ooh, I didn't.
Dark time.
I felt that.
Dark time.
I'm like, that motherfucker never changed. But I organized all of them because you were rogue. I cleaned it up a little bit.
Okay, continue.
Okay, my next front page news thing is there's reports that Kendall Jenner and Caitlyn Jenner are fighting with each other, and Caitlyn Jenner unfollowed her daughter Kendall. Do you think that Lenore would literally ever?
My mom, first of all, doesn't know how to unfollow someone.
Exactly.
Also, that's like so public for a public family to do.
So it begs the like conversation that it's even more insane and petty of her to do than like if someone in our families like unfollowed us, like we'd be like, okay.
But even in a bigger scheme of things, it's like, Mom, I don't want you to follow me on Instagram. That doesn't matter. I want you to fucking love me.
Right.
Like, oh, now my mom can't see my posts. No, I want you to fucking care for me.
Also, I doubt Kendall even looks at her own Instagram. The woman has high functioning anxiety. You think she's going through like her followers and stuff? Okay, lastly, Pamela Anderson documentary.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. This is a Pamela Anderson Stan podcast. She's so nice. She's so sweet. I can't believe the tragic things that have happened to this woman in her life, and she's still so like, she's a little bit like of a hippie-ish, like,
yes,
but still so like full of life and like loves love and just like is just like whatever, like this is what happened to me and like things will happen, like, and I'm just trying to move on. Like I just like her.
Now I hate to say this, but like it was one of those things where like being pretty kind of hurt her. Do you know what I mean? Like most when pretty people are like, oh, life is hard for me, I'm like, oh, like a punch in the face. But like she was sexualized as a young kid. Like everything she got, she was a tomboy back then, like brown hair, just tomboy. She like got discovered. She wasn't even trying on like at a football game. And next thing you know, she's making money on Playboy. And next thing you know, like these psychotic rock stars are all over her and everyone wants to see her pussy.
Crazy line that she said that I was like, oh my God, that fucking sucks. She was like, the biggest thing for me to overcome was that people told me that I shouldn't care that my sex tape is out because they've already seen my naked body in Playboy. And she was like, but that's just not how it works. And it's kind of like, okay, like you're on a reality TV show. You owe everyone every single aspect of your life because you signed up for a reality TV show. And it's like, right, I signed up to do one thing, but I didn't sign up to do this thing. And it's kind of like, but people were just like, get over it.
Well, she basically said she's a different, like she was a character when she was doing these photo shoots. She was like, I was this alter ego. I was taking power of my sexuality because she's someone who was like abused a lot.
Raped.
She's like, this is me being confident in myself. And then like real Pam is like this hippie. She's also hilarious.
Very funny. And for her to be like, I never thought I was pretty. I just knew I was good at this job. And she was like, in terms of like, I knew how to move with the camera and I knew how to like turn my body in certain ways, but never did I think I was good at it because I was pretty, which is crazy. She's the hottest person. You
know, also like when you're that pretty and you're Pamela Anderson, when she got the job on Broadway, when she had to turn to the camera in her 50s and go, let's not meet a guy to ruin it. Like imagine being so hot that everywhere you go, you have to consciously not get involved with a man because men are just throwing themselves at you all the time, and men, a lot of them, can be toxic. And like she would get married every 3 years because a man would be like, I want to marry you,
because they would love bomb her,
and she like loved getting married. This is the thing with love bombing. When someone love bombs you, you're like, finally, someone gets it. Like, in 2 days he told me I'm the greatest in the world, and it's like, he sees me for me.
This one's smart. We hooked a good one.
Finally, not a dum-dum. He's
also how she was just like, he couldn't understand what I was going through because it helped his brand. It added to his brand.
He's a rock star.
She also, why the fuck did she not have like an agent or like, she didn't have anyone like as a team because she never really wanted to be famous. Like when they were talking about Baywatch and she was like, I canceled the interview 11 times because I didn't want to do this. Like she genuinely randomly, like for real randomly, not like social media, but let me post a video, like for real randomly got famous because a Jumbotron saw her. And she was that stunning.
And then society chewed her up and spit her the fuck out. You know what makes me even madder?
Yeah.
That if this had happened nowadays, not only would she not have been like abused by the media and abused by like the interviewers saying it was her fault and all this stuff. But she would have been Kim Kardashian.
She would have been Kim Kardashian. I was just going to say that is Kim Kardashian. Yeah, like I want to know what she thinks about like Kim and Paris's sex tapes and how.
Oh yeah, like compared to it, it's interesting because she's talking about Tommy and like obviously you're gonna fall in love with her and Tommy, but you have to understand like she misses what they were, but she knows, you know, when like you'll never be that again.
Yeah, and she said that too. She was like, I will only love him, but I wouldn't even be able to be with him right now.
But then there's drama because he's currently married.
I know. Did you see that TikTok she posted?
So Brittany is a Vine star. She's like a comedian. She deals with her own mental health stuff. And she posted a TikTok.
I mean, the TikTok
like,
was funny.
It said like, if I died, Pamela would be like this. And it's her being like, oh no.
Like, okay.
That's too bad.
Oops. Or like, oh no, shoot. And then like moving on. Like it
and
was
people got
funny.
Mad.
Lost their minds.
I think it's her way of coping, one. And two, people are like, she didn't come for you. You're going to feel some type of way. Like, let the girl feel.
I also have a prediction. As someone who has an Aunt Pamela and is like my favorite aunt and like is absolutely my favorite aunt, and I'm not even scared to say that because I know my other aunts don't listen to Giggly Squad, which is why she is my favorite aunt. I have my favorite aunt, my Aunt Pamela. I think that's like the most stunning name ever. My mom's name is
You have to be gorgeous if your name is Pamela.
She's stunning. And my mom's name is Kimberly, which I also love. And like I'm kind of mad that Kim Kardashian has that name because like if I named my kids after that, like it would be, I feel like people would be like, oh, because of Kim Kardashian. I don't like that. But I think the name Kimberly is stunning. But I feel like Pamela, the name will have like a resurgence because of Pamela Anderson.
I agree. I 100% agree. Lastly, a little bit of homework because you know I like to end the pod like on a weirdly dark note. It's called The Last of Us. Have you heard about it on HBO?
On HBO. I almost started it and then like I read the description. I was like, do I really want to get into it? Is it so good?
I love apocalyptic stuff and it's based off a video game, but it's apocalyptic in like a very realistic way. It starts off being like there's a fungus. Like these scientists are talking, they're like, there's a fungus that, you know how it takes over plants and like takes over their brains.
Okay.
What if it ever happened to humans? And they were arguing, they're like, that could never happen to humans. And he goes, unless global warming causes our body temperatures to like lower and then the fungi could take over humans. They're like, that would never happen. So
and it happens.
It shows it happen.
Yeah.
And then there are some episodes that are very like zombie apocalypse that are actually fun. And the head guy, Pedro Escal, what's his name? Anyway, he's so hot and talented. But then they have an episode 3, which just goes into like this crazy side story that's just incredible. Long story short, if you're into apocalyptic shit, it's fun to watch. And I watched it with Des and like together we got very into it.
Okay, I might start it because I need a show. I have no shows right now.
It'll give you some adrenaline. And so before the apocalypse comes, definitely come to our live shows.
For sure.
In Nashville and Texas. I also have stand-up shows coming up in Miami and New York City.
Okay, amazing.
So check that out.
And thanks for giggling with us today.
Thanks for giggling with us as always. We'll talk to you later. Bye.